Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural horror comedy film, MAK. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins when a beautiful pregnant woman named MAK is screaming in pain. Blood drips out of her, indicating that she is about to give birth. She screams for help, but there is no one to help her. Apparently, her husband MAK is far away from their home since he is fighting in the war. He gets injured while fighting on the battlefield. The medic then brings him into the tent. There he meets his fellow soldiers, Tur, Pak, Shin, and No Name. They are losing hope, thinking that they are about to lose the war. Pak then boosts their morale, so they begin to get their swords. They march towards the battlefield and face the enemy with guns. Their fellow soldiers go down one after the other. So MAK and his friends hide in cover, trying hard to survive. MAK promises to survive, as he is thinking about his pregnant wife. Despite MAK's severe injury, he and his friends begin marching away from the battlefield. They manage to survive and eventually ride a boat going back to their hometown. MAK is still suffering from his wounds. Meanwhile, MAK is screaming MAK's name while holding their baby. Weirdly enough, the people of the town begin hiding in their homes. At night, MAK and his friends arrive back at MAK's home. There, MAK gets tearfully reunited with MAK, and he finally sees their newly born baby. She says that their fat baby is named after MAK's favorite name. After that, MAK introduces her to his friends, and they are amused with her beauty. MAK then offers them to stay at his home until the war ends. They accept his offer. Later, MAK and MAK are having their intimate moment. MAK jokingly tells him that there is a ghost, but MAK's scared enough to hide behind her muscles for protection, and even gets his protective amulet for exorcism. But MAK tells him to wear it later on, since she needs to clean it first. After that, she comes to sing a lullaby, possibly to calm down their annoying baby. Surprisingly, her voice can be heard in the town, and the residents appear to be scared out of their shit. The following day, MAK and his friends wake up, and they see a Tesla boat passing through the river. The boat driver says that it is carrying the people who died in the war. The group then gets intrigued by it. After that, MAK and his friends come to the market. MAK wants to buy food from a market seller. However, she eats all of her products, claiming that she's a bad seller but a decent eater. She then says that they are out of stock, before frantically running her heavy stomach away. MAK then goes to buy a fish from a seller. But the seller releases the fish out of the basket, saying that he's not selling them. And soon the seller also runs his fishy ass away. It's seen to this point that the market sellers are trying to avoid dealing with MAK. After that, MAK goes to a drunk wine seller to apply for a job. The wine seller named Ms. Vodka says that they are not looking for a new applicant. She recognizes MAK and gets agitated suddenly. She even tells him that he needs to look between his legs. She attempts to mention in that way MAK will see MAK and their baby are ghosts. However, Ms. Vodka's son shuts her big mouth. So MAK and his friends get confused by those situations. Later, MAK's friend is drinking beside the river. Shin informs them that according to the legend, looking between the legs is a way to confirm if someone is a ghost. The group then laughs at him, thinking that MAK is too beautiful to be a ghost. They suggest that Ms. Vodka is blabbering nonsense because she was drunk. Later, Shin falls asleep and dreams about MAK being a ghost. He wakes up, and the group tells him to call MAK from their house. He arrives there and sees a messy scene. The crib is swinging by itself, and MAK's hand suddenly extends to get a fruit. In fear, he runs his terrified legs back to his friend and reports that MAK is a ghost, but they refuse to believe his smelly bullshit. The group then continues dancing their marching song. Meanwhile, Ms. Vodka's dead body is floating in the river, with vodka smell filling the air. The next day, when Tur goes to deal some pooping and farting business with the grass field, he's shocked to find a dead body with a red ring buried in the ground. He rushes his unwiped and smelly ass back to the group, and along the way, bees follow his smell to bite his ugly face, but fortunately spare his smelly butt. He then sees MAK wearing the same red ring, prompting him to believe that the dead body belongs to her, and she is now a ghost. But he cannot tell his friend because of his inflamed mouth. So he gets a pen and paper. He writes it and shows it to his friends, informing them that MAK is a ghost. They then get scared of her. MAK sees them reading the note, so he insists on reading it too. But due to the rainwater, he mistakenly reads it as MAK is gross. He then rushes to her, saying that he still accepts her even though she is gross. Meanwhile, Tur explains to No Name that MAK wears the same ring as the corpse. They want to leave immediately to avoid MAK. But Tur insists they should worry about MAK's safety, and as his friends, they can't leave MAK alone to face such a terrified but sexy ghost. At night, Ms. Vodka's son goes there, reporting to No Name and Pack that Ms. Vodka died. He believes that Nak killed his mother for reporting that Nak is a ghost, so the two inform Tur and Shin. They get completely scared and want to leave immediately. Unfortunately, Nak invites them to have dinner with them. She prepares dried leaves and worms. They refuse to eat it at first, but she gives them a bad look, forcing them to eat it. After that, they signal each other to leave. Mak sees them, so he offers them to play charades. During the game, Tur points to Nak, prompting Shin to utter the word dead. They get scared of Nak, so they run back to the boat and paddle away real quick. In fear, they just paddle in circles and are not able to go any further. Nak tells them to mind their own business. They eventually manage to paddle away. Later, Mak confronts them for thinking that Nak is a ghost. He says that they are no different from the villagers, and reasons that Ms. Vodka's son spreads the rumor to the villagers, because Nak did not show any hormone interest in Ms. Vodka's drunk son, for he's too vodka smelly. Despite this, the friends are determined to inform the poor Mak about the truth. Mak goes back to Nak, and proceeds to comfort her with his muscles. They then go to the carnival together to have a romantic date. There, Nak wears a ghostly mask to hide her face. They want to ride the Ferris wheel, but it is crowded. So Nak shows her face to the people, prompting them to run their asses away in fear. There, Nak asks him if he can live without her. He replies that he cannot bear it, saying he can't continue living without her. After that, the two go to the haunted house. There, Mak's friend plans to abduct Mak away from her. Tur brings holy rice as their defense weapon. Mak and Nak walk along with the haunted house. Everyone gets scared of her, forcing them to run their smelly ass away. Later, as they are walking, Mak's friend ties him and abducts him away from her. Unfortunately, they cannot leave because the door is locked. They hide Mak away and pretend to be a ghost in the haunted house. Nak comes to search for Mak, but she is not able to recognize them. After she passes by, they get away, carrying Mak. Suddenly, Nak appears behind them, scaring the shit out of them. They run all the way until they reach the woods. They free Mak there and try to convince him that Nak is a ghost, but he claims that he already looks between his legs, and Nak does not appear as a ghost. He walks away, and his friends find him suffering from pain due to his wounds. Tur suddenly realizes that the body with a red ring might belong to Mak and not to Nak. They then remove Mak's bandage to see if he is wearing a red ring, but Mak apparently wears it on his neck. Tur immediately throws the holy rice at Mak, making him scream in pain. Mak's friends run away from him, believing that he is a ghost. As they are far away from him, they doubt their memory of Nak, and they believe that she must be alive, for she's too sexy to be a ghost. So they plan to save the sexy Nak away from Mak. They come to Nak and apologize to her for the misunderstandings. Shin is still scared of her, so they let him touch her, making him believe that she must be alive. After that, they take Nak and her heavy baby into the Tesla boat, and they paddle away along the river. Suddenly, their boat begins to sink from the weight, so they throw away their things, even the paddle. They then realize that they can no longer paddle away without a paddle or a battery. Right then, Mak arrives and swims toward their Tesla boat. They all get scared and explain to Nak that Mak died from the war, and now he is a pure ghost. But she refuses to believe them. Suddenly, Mak feels a muscle cramp and begins to scream for help. His friends then realize that he must be still alive since ghosts cannot drown, so they proceed to help him. He explains he screams in pain from a holy rice because it hit his wounds. Tur then asks who is the real ghost if Mak is not the one. The red ring suddenly drops from No Name, causing them to believe he must be the ghost, so they throw him out of the boat. They then paddle away with their bare hands. Nak hands over the paddle to them, so they can push the boat quickly. At that time, Tur gets confused about how Nak manages to get the paddle from a far distance, so he starts to believe Nak must have been the ghost all along. So he looks between his legs and confirms that Nak is the ghost, for she's holding Mak with her elongated hand. Mak and his friends dive into the river and swim away. Mak refuses to leave her, so Pack smashes his head, putting him to sleep. Later, they bring Mak with them to the Buddhist temple. The muscular but bald monk, nicknamed Monk Baldy, instructs them not to leave the magic thread, so they can be safe against Nak. Suddenly, Pack feels water dripping from the ceiling, but it turns out that the roof is damaged. The monk explains no one is donating to fix it. Nak arrives in the temple, and Mak wants to help her, but his friends prevent him. Monk Baldy asks for the holy water, but they spill it. So Monk Baldy asks for the holy rice, but Shin feeds it to the birds. They begin to scold Shin, and accidentally kick the muscular Monk Baldy out of the magic thread. In fear, Monk Baldy leaves them and runs his muscles and bald head away from the temple. After that, the group get tied up together in the magic thread. MAK slowly approaches them, so they run to the other door. No Name is there, causing them to run back inside, for they believe he is also a ghost. Tur realizes that Pak is wet from the holy water, so they decide to push themselves toward No Name. This accidentally pushes Pak to smooch No Name. After that, they manage to free themselves from the thread. They realize that No Name is not hurt by the holy water, so No Name says he is not a ghost, and explains he has the ring because he stole it from the corpse, so he could sell it later on. They then realize that MAK is still there, looking at them. They attempt to run away, but all of the doors and windows suddenly close. MAK disappears, and they find her above them. She is in the ceiling upside down, while looking at them. She asks them why they are keeping MAK away from her. Tur says she is an evil ghost for killing Ms. Vodka, but she explains that she did not kill Ms. Vodka. It turns out Ms. Vodka drowned in the river because of drunkenness. She further tells them she just wants to be with MAK, and she begins to cry. Her hand then slowly elongates to grab MAK. His friends run away in fear, but he decides to slowly approach MAK's hand. He gets tearful, and MAK wipes his tears. She then apologizes to him for not telling the truth, saying she just wants to be with him. In response, MAK reveals to her that he already knows she is a ghost at the very beginning. It turns out MAK confirmed it after looking at her down between his legs. He searches for her corpse and embraces it. He then declares that he wants to be with her, even though she is already a ghost. She replies that it is impossible because the living cannot live with the dead. But he says they can pretend and continue to live normally. He says he could have died in the war, but his love for her gives him the will to live. It is then revealed that she died when she was about to give birth, and she was resurrected because of her desire to stay with MAK. He then declares that there is nothing wrong with their love, so they can continue to live with each other. As his friends witness their conversation, they begin to be tearful and say that they are willing to normally live with the couple. Eventually, MAK goes to help fix the temple with her ghostly power. In the end, MAK and MAK, with their baby, live happily along with their friends and the villagers. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.